Hey guys, welcome to the full moon reading for the full moon in Scorpio. This is a collective reading, so for everybody. Doesn't matter what sign you are. We're just going to kind of take a look at the energy. I feel as though, and also if you're new here, welcome. My name's Johanna. Welcome to Tenacious Soul. Yeah, obviously take these messages, leave what doesn't resonate for you. I've been feeling as though I want to get more like guidance for us, or kind of more advice for what's going on in the world. Obviously we have this full moon in Sag on June 14th, which is a super moon. So it's enhancing. It's usually just like a little bit more intense. But there's also a lot of other stuff that's going on in the planetary stuff right now. Like there's a lot of astrological things happening. So I feel like the world's in a really weird space. Either it's on a personal level or a collective level. And I don't know, I've just been feeling that the energy is a little bit weird, and it's kind of like, well, where do we go next? How do we navigate this? So I wanted to kind of figure out what Spirit wants us to kind of like know, any guidance or suggestions that Spirit may have for us. So we're going to kind of take a look at, these are the Power of Surrender cards. I'm going to get a surrender energy, and then I'm also going to get a activation energy. I sometimes read the book for this one because it can be a little bit, depends on the card, but some of them, the messages are pretty good in the book. So, but let's see, what do we need to know collectively for this full moon in Sag? What do we need to surrender? Okay, so we have two. So we have surrender to inner peace and surrender to prayer. So surrender to inner peace says cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet, meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. And then we also have surrender to prayer. Give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard through the universe, and the answers and support will arrive. So this feels like just connecting back to self. Some of us, maybe it's like you may be feeling the need to kind of connect back into yourself, or just spend time where you can focus on like your internal self, or even just finding a sense of peace or sanctuary in your day-to-day. Some of you, literally, this is like bringing more quiet time into your life, whether that is through meditation, or if that's just like taking time to sit by yourself, or to distance yourself from people or situations in your life. And it doesn't have to be like negative stuff. Like sometimes you just need time for yourself, right? I'm a big person that loves time for myself. That's how I kind of recharge. And so I know, though, sometimes it's like I get so caught up in the doing and the going in life that it gets hard sometimes, where you're just like, okay, maybe I need to take a step back and just like, take a break for a day or a moment to just kind of like recalibrate my thoughts and, what is my thoughts, right? Because sometimes I find that it's easy to kind of get caught up in like people around you, social media, work, whatever it is, that just kind of like boggles and it kind of like creates a little bit of like non-clarity within the mind. It's like there's just so much happening that it's hard to kind of take a step back. So it feels like we have to allow ourselves to connect more with ourselves and really connect with the universe at the same time. It's like connecting within our higher selves within, but also allowing ourselves to connect to the divine. And I feel like those kind of go obviously like hand in hand. We also have surrender to creativity at the bottom here, which says let your imagination soar. It's interesting. All these cards are kind of a similar color. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. So if there's anything you're trying to figure out in your life, it feels like these answers are going to come to you in moments of quiet or peace, or whenever you feel connected to spirit or connected to source. However you do that, you're going to get kind of the answers that you need. But it's interesting. She's holding like a mirror. So it feels like when you're in a space of reflection, these answers will come to you of like how to move forward in your life, whatever space you're kind of like feeling some sort of a struggle or a challenge. So let's see what's being activated. We have the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle by Kyle Gray. So let's see what's being activated at this full moon in Sagittarius for us collectively. That one went back in. There we go. Oh, that's so funny. Sacred inner space, sacral chakra, tenderness, and sensuality. We literally have inner peace, and this one says inner space. So it kind of feels like it's asking us to take a step back. It feels like, though, when we do that, these are all sacral chakra energies. Like, I don't know if you can tell, like these 3 cards, this is like the 2 that came out and then the bottom card, they're all this orangey color, right? And this one literally says it's the sacral chakra, which it literally says inner space. So it's asking you to go within, or we're being called to kind of like go within at this time to reflect and to find our answers within ourselves and our own creativity. It's asking us to nurture and look after ourselves. The sacral chakra always reminds me of the divine feminine energy, being that it is typically the area of reproduction and birthing something new, creativity, right? Sensuality, sexuality in some cases, right? Where it's like needing to soften that space, right? Because if we're too rigid, or if we're not allowing flow, we're not allowing things to happen, then we don't have that creative force, right? We don't have that creative energy. Bottom of the deck, we have higher heart activation, dropping shields, divine love, and your heart is healed. So some of us have some healing to do around, again, kind of that allowing, that sense of the heart chakra. And I mean, this is specifically talking about the higher heart, which sits up here more. It's a pink kind of color. So we have pink and orange here. For those of you who like colors, I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but it's like we're kind of letting our guard down in a positive way that's allowing us to connect more to ourselves, which is also going to allow us to connect more with other people. It's like also about having compassion, I'm getting, and like just bringing love back into our lives. I am going to read this sacred inner space. So I just need to find that. All right. Sacred inner space. So it says the sacral chakra is found below the belly button, and it's an energetic space that governs our reproductive system and all forms of expression connected to it. Everything from our sexuality to our capacity to express the tender, more sacred parts of ourselves is connected to this chakra. It is governed by water, and so it helps us move with flow of life in order to express our most authentic self. This card transports us to this sacred inner space. It shows an inner temple with flowing water and lots of soft colors coming from this blooming lotus. This encourages us to see that our sacred parts are beautiful, energetic gateways through which we can express and manifest pure life force. So the message here is you're being guided to the gateway of your sacred self. This is an opportunity to recognize that the more tender and vulnerable aspects of your being holds keys to great power. Honor the sacred within. Reclaim any parts of yourself that you have disconnected from or abandoned. If you want to experience more love and belonging, look within. There's a huge lesson in finding love within yourself. Realize that false narratives have been floating around your energetic field, stories that have discouraged you from expressing yourself. You may even have been lied to and told you aren't beautiful. This card is here to remind you that you are beautiful, and more importantly, you can create beauty in the world. Recognize that you hold the power of the universe within, and then you'll find your flow. So again, I'm getting like a message of trust, trusting self and trusting the universe, and again, loving self, right? We always talk about that, like self-care, looking after ourselves first, it's just like really, it's a strong energy of healing ourselves within ourselves. We do have a big Chiron aspect right now, which is definitely highlighting wounds in that regard, right? Chiron is the wounded warrior. So I feel like there could be things coming up that need to be healed, that you may be realizing are holding you back or blocking you in some way. We have full moon in Taurus, which says detoxify. Yeah. Definitely letting things go, obviously, with this full moon energy. That's a typical energy for the full moon. We have first quarter moon in Cancer, push through any insecurity. Again, this is giving me like this nurturing energy, right? Of Cancer is like the mother, right? So it's like, it's nurturing, it's emotional, it's watery, it's feminine, right? Let's get one more here for this full moon in Sag. And then we have the full moon in Leo, go wild. Yeah, this is about like expressing yourself. It feels like nurturing yourself, letting go of things that aren't serving you with this detoxify energy. But then at the same time, it's like stepping into boldly what feels authentic to you, what you are excited about, what you want to dive into. We have the new moon in Capricorn, step up and lead at the bottom of the deck. So it's asking you to push through any insecurities, work through those energies, you know, healing those things so that, you know, you can enter this space where you're boldly stepping up into yourself. Some of you, this is like putting yourself out there with this like Leo energy, okay, in some way, shape, or form, whatever that is in your life, where it's like having to let go of any insecurities, detoxify from the things that are holding you back, go within and really reflect on, you know, what it is that you, what is it that you're trying to achieve, and what do you need to let go of in order to achieve those things, right? It feels like a personal thing. It doesn't really necessarily feel like things external to you. It's more of like an awareness of like your own personal growth. And what have you maybe been suppressing within yourself? It feels like there's something that you need to boldly express or go wild with, that something you need to roar about, that you've maybe been keeping to yourself. It feels like you're going to be getting to a point where you're going to have to step up and lead and move forward in some way in your own personal life. Like you're going to have to initiate or take an action here, maybe. I wanted to pull a lot of oracles here today, so we're going to pull some. I have this deck and then one more, and then we'll get into some tarot. So, but I just wanted to get a good feeling of the energy here. Yeah, we have Lord, take charge with authority. This reminds me of the Emperor. What do we need to know for this full moon in Sag? Oracle, wait for important information. Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. This is that like feminine, watery Cancer type energy. Intuitively as well with the Oracle and the Water Guardian. This is like connecting to your intuition, connecting to source, right? Again, stepping back into that like surrender to inner peace, inner space, connection to prayer, right? Like all of those things. It's like, it's allowing you to go within and find your personal power and just find your own, it feels like finding your own energy again, like your own authenticity. Like some of you have maybe been feeling like there's this, it's like there's a lack of clarity, but it's not really because you don't have the clarity, it's because you can't access the clarity. So what I mean by that is, my best example that I can give of this is, you know, life is chaotic all the time, right? There's always something going on, but it feels, what I always kind of, and I've done this, so I've done like a day where it's like a detox, a social media detox. Sometimes it's like technology altogether. Like I won't even go on the computer to like read something on the computer. I will literally read a physical book. And it's crazy how after that day of not being bombarded with text messages, social media, opinions, all of these things, that it's like I can actually hear myself think. And so that's kind of what this feels like. It's not that you don't have the answers. You do have the answers within you. Okay. You have the answers within you, and spirit is actually connecting with you and wanting to give you answers. But it's like you're so bombarded with information or communication or, you know, opinions that you can't even access your own true feelings, thoughts, and opinions of yourself. And so that connection to source maybe feels a little bit off, and Spirit's kind of asking, like, come back to us and connect back with yourself, connect back with us, because you'll receive the answers in us. I feel like it's like a space of quiet. So around the full moon, which is on the 14th, you may feel that you want to sit with yourself more. You don't really want to be around other people. Like, you may be kind of in this place of solitude. And I feel like that's happening, one, to protect your energy, okay? With arrow here, surround yourself and with protective energy, but also it's to reclaim your sense of power in yourself, taking back control kind of within. And it's kind of like relighting this spark. There is kind of this fiery energy with all this sacral energy, which obviously Sag is a fire sign, but there's kind of this like feeling of, you know, bringing something back to life within you that maybe you've been disconnected from. Hopefully this is making sense. Let's get some final oracle messages here, and then we'll get into the tarot. What do we need to know about this full moon in Sag? We have abundance, number 13. What else do we need to know about this full moon? We have anger, number 28. I'm sensing more of like frustration off of that. We have retreat. So again, more of like retreating energy. It feels like we're frustrated with maybe the lack of abundance. Like, we could be aspiring to have this abundance, okay? And there's a frustration, or there's like this feeling of feeling restricted or feeling limited. And so we're frustrated because of that. We have a new day. So there's new energy definitely coming in. Obviously with a full moon, it's a cleansing, completion type of energy. And so then that does bring in new energy for the new moon. But again, there's this retreat. There's this like pulling our energy back and going within. If you're frustrated with any sort of situations, I also feel like it's saying, you know, don't act while you're in that space of frustration. Take a step back and collect yourself before making any sort of decisions here. Yeah, we have divine timing. I feel like this abundance, or the things that we're trying to bring into our life, or the things that we're wanting in our life, there is a divine timing aspect, but there's a frustration with that, right? Of having to wait and having to, you know, where is it going? We have inner journey. Again, it's asking you to go within. And this is like the hardest thing. I was thinking about this the other day, of like trusting the process. It's like such so easy to say, oh, just trust the process, right? But it's like sometimes life just throws some shit at you and you're like, what is this process? And it's kind of like having to trust that no matter what's going on, whether it's good or bad, or, you know, the best thing in the world, or the worst case scenario, you feel like there's always some sort of divine plan, and there's always kind of like, you can always course correct. You don't have, just because one thing happens that's not ideal, doesn't mean that you aren't going to be able to course correct into a better situation, right? Sometimes there's lessons, and maybe this is needing to reflect on some of these lessons if there's things that are going on that are maybe not ideal. But I do feel like, though, the universe is going to be bringing something in with this abundance and this divine timing, but it's almost like, I almost feel like Spirit's wanting you to connect with them more so that you can see this. And for some of you, that it's like seeing the abundance within yourself, and that you like not giving up the hope and the faith that this is going to happen, and trusting that no matter what, there's always abundance to come around or go around in the world. It's never limited. And that one day it'll show up. It feels like there's a letting go at the bottom here. It feels like letting go of expectation that things are going to like show up in either a certain way, or just in general, like when they're going to show up. So it feels like the biggest challenge here is the going within, which, I mean, I was literally thinking about that earlier this week, just with like stuff in my own life where it's like, okay, cool, trust the process, but like, first of all, how the hell do we do that, right? And in my experience, or what at least I've tried to do, is like trust that if I just keep focusing on, if I'm trying to achieve something, if I just focus on doing, focusing on that every day, putting in like the little daily earthly steps to get to that place, it's like I just have to trust that my efforts will go and be rewarded, and that it's not always on my time as much as it's on the universe's time. Like, again, I've talked about this in other readings before, where it's like you and the thing that you're trying to connect with, whether that's a person, a job, money, whatever, like you both have to be on the same frequency in order to be able to connect. And so sometimes it's like you feel like you're ready, but maybe that thing isn't ready for you yet, right? And that's like, we can't see that other side, which makes it challenging, because you're going like, well, I'm ready, come on, like just bring it in. But if that energy is not ready for you, then it's not going to work, right? So it has to, that's that divine timing, right? That aspect of like you and the other thing are on the same frequency, so that the two of you can actually come together. Because if you come together in the wrong frequencies, it's not going to work. It's going to fall apart, and the universe doesn't want that. They want it to work for you, right? Also, our version of time is not really real. You're right. There's an aspect of it that's like time is an illusion. So we have the Queen of Michael, which is the Queen of Swords, and then we have the Three of Pentacles, which actually, this abundance card always reminds me of the Three of Pentacles, because it literally has three little pentacles there. So the Queen of Swords says, you know exactly what to do, the benefit of experience, a time for your career rather than relationships. Three of Pentacles, do what you love, a time of great personal growth in your career or artistic endeavors, work with others in a cooperative manner. I also feel like this is like, again, like kind of like what I was saying, like working on those things every single day, whether that's like a self-love, self-care, routine, working out every day, maybe it's like learning something every day about your job or your profession or your career, or maybe it's like a hobby thing that you want to step into, a side gig, something like that it's like put effort in every day towards this. I feel like the Queen of Swords is almost saying like let go of distractions. Okay, so there may be people or things in our lives that we need to cut ties with so that we can really focus on our craft, focus on our goals. Some of you with this Three of Pentacles may have to connect with other people, or connect with the right people is also what I'm getting. Especially with the Queen of Swords, it's like being discerning about who you're spending your time around, right? Are they just as focused on their goals, or are they focused on the same things, or are they focused on different things? Because that could be a distraction, right? We have perspective here at the bottom, which is the Hanged Man, and it says there's a better way, pause for reflection and insight, dare to be different. So it feels like you're trying to, or we're trying to change things in our life, right? And so it feels like only focusing on the things that are progressing us to our goals. What really matters? What's really important? What really matters? We have the Two of Pentacles here. It's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once, making work fun. I just feel like this is about balancing out what your energies and where you're putting your time and energy. Again, this Queen of Swords is giving me like you have to be discerning about where you're putting your time and your energy with this Three of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Cups here, which says there's something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you, a spiritual quest. And then we have the Six of Swords here at the bottom. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans, relocation or travel. We're moving forward. There is, it's a full moon, right? So it's not like there's like an ending. Like there's an ending, but it's like there's always a new beginning at the other side of that, right? How long it takes us to get to that, that's always, again, that's the divine timing aspect, but it's like cutting out things that aren't no longer serving us, right? Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that aren't fulfilling to better things. It's walking towards the Ten of Cups. Six of Swords does make me feel like we're being guided into this new space that is, it could be a physical new space, but it could also just be an energetic space. It could also be a mental space, a new mental space that feels good. And it's almost like you're almost there. You're almost on the other side. I feel like for some of us too, it's like that clarity is coming through. It feels like, again, it's almost just being discerning. There may be a choice to, I'm getting with this Three and then the Two of Pentacles, like letting go of like going from a 3 to a 2, like making the choice to let go of certain things, or again, people, projects, something to bring more balance into our lives. And I think that that's where that Queen of Swords is, like, again, being very discerning. Again, around this full moon, I just feel like you might not want to deal with people or situations. You might just want to kind of seclude yourself or just kind of be by yourself so that you can gain the knowledge and the wisdom. The Queen of Swords is a very, she uses her logic, but she's also intuitive, right? Because she's water and air. So she's a mixture of the two. All the queens have water, but then along with it's plus their element. So the Queen of Swords has both. So she can properly discern her intuition versus her logic and when to use which one. And I feel like by taking time to go within and connect with yourself and not letting people distract you or get in your head, it's giving you the clarity that you need in order to move forward. Because both the 8 of Cups and the 6 of Swords here talk about moving forward. So there's a strong energy that I'm picking up of distancing ourselves, even if it's just for the full moon, to gain the insight, gain the clarity, spend time with yourself in your inner space. And even if it's just like 10 minutes, you know, whatever you have time for. And that's going to allow you to tap into your next path, your next direction, or where to go from here. And again, it's just kind of like things will start to flow a little bit more the way that, the way maybe that you want, or that just things will feel a little bit easier. I'm getting it's almost like you'll just feel more clear is what I'm getting. It's like allowing yourself to, it feels freeing is what it feels like. It almost feels like you can take a deep breath. And I think I had that in one of the, it was here, I think, on this one. Yeah, breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans. I think you're able to do that once you connect more to yourself. Some of you as well, this is about making more of it of a routine, like connecting to yourself and having, again, like 5 minutes to yourself, something to connect with. And that could be anything. That could be going for a walk. That could be sitting with yourself. That could be like 5 minutes drinking a coffee. It could be reading a book. It could be whatever you feel is how you connect with yourself, or how you feel like yourself the most. There's, when you do that more often, or you can make a more of a routine out of that, or just connect more, because I feel like Spirit's asking you to connect more with them and yourself, and you do that all in the same, in my personal opinion, that when you do that, that's when you're going to get the answers that you need to move forward in something, because it feels like there's, for some of you might feel stuck or stagnant, and it's like you know that you have to move forward, but you're like, well, how or when or what does that look like? And it seems like you'll get those answers when you connect more to self. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I feel like that's honestly the biggest message. It's come through in, I think, almost every deck that I've pulled. And I've pulled quite a few here. So let's get a final message here and just kind of close this out. If this did not resonate, just maybe know your message, or maybe this will resonate a little bit later. Maybe you'll realize when I'm posting this on the 11th. So the full moon isn't until the 14th. So something may come up. So you can always rewatch this or whatever, but let's get a advice here. We have the 9 of Michael, which is the 9 of Swords. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Ace of Wands, the 7 of Swords, the Queen of Wands. So I'm going to read all of these for you, because I feel like this deck has good messages. And then we have the Knight of Swords at the bottom here. Things are going to start to pick up. Knight of Swords and the Chariot. Things are going to start to pick up speed once you gain that clarity, right? So 9 of Swords, your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire. Release feelings of regret, guilt, or worry to your angels. So again, this is like letting go, okay? Letting go of the worry and releasing that to be able to move forward. We have Page of Cups, a new emotional situation, messages regarding relationships or social invitations, great intuitive insights. Again, I feel like it's like letting go of the worry and connecting more with yourself is going to bring in these intuitive aspects that you go, oh, maybe this is a solution, or oh, I could try this, or oh, maybe that's why I went through that stressful situation. We have the Ace of Wands, a gift of passion, opportunity, and inspiration, the chance to do something amazing, a sense of wonder. So allow yourself to explore and dream again. It feels like, again, there's this fiery energy, Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands, that you want to express into the world, but you have to let yourself do that. And I feel like in order to even figure out what that is, again, there's this energy of having to go within. Seven of Swords, it says there's a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the best answer. Review all the details. I feel like the working alone aspect, it's connecting to source. Like you're trying to do things all on your own, and Spirit's like, hey, you can connect with us, right? Queen of Wands, you can do anything right now. Go after what you want, the ability to attract helpful people. Again, some of you could be connecting, Three of Pentacles, with people, but it's connecting, making sure that you're connecting with the right people and just using your discernment, like I said with the Queen of Swords, to be able to do that. It seems like you could be really starting to attract new opportunities towards you, but if in order to do that, again, you have to kind of go within and figure out what it is that you truly want and what you truly desire. And I think you're going to find a better course of action here, or you're going to get some sort of answer, some sort of clarity that can come through with this full moon. And again, if you do the work and you connect and you go within, even if it's not on the full moon, just in general, I feel like getting through and navigating times like this, it's really about having faith and connecting to yourself and Spirit, so that you know that you always have that personal trust, that self-trust, that things are going to work out and that things are coming towards you. But if we're not clear on where we want to go, we have a hard time navigating like what's even for us and what's not, right? So that is what I have for the full moon. Hopefully that resonated. Let me know how you guys are feeling and if this resonated. Hopefully it did. Hopefully you got something useful out of it. But I will be posting, I'm going to take a break from the pick a card I did for the first 6, but I'm going to do the mid-monthly June readings for all 12 signs, and then I'll do the next 6 pick a cards. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful full moon. Hopefully you are feeling okay during these times, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Bye.